I shouldn't be clearing my voice like that, I know. I thought I'd give you a little update. I've been posting about it on my community tab here on YouTube, so some of you already know about it. But for those of you who haven't seen those posts, I hurt my voice probably back in early December. We had a Christmas night of worship at our church, and looking back, and I even knew in the moment, I was like, I'm going way too hard vocally here. Like, for no reason other than I was having fun, and it was, I don't know, I just wanted to do it. I was having fun. I was singing songs that were like at the top of my range. And so I led worship at that night of worship. That was back on December 8th. And after the next day I woke up and I was like, my neck hurts so bad. Not like my throat hurts, but like it felt like I had pulled a muscle or something in my throat. And I even posted about that here on YouTube on my community tab. And then the problem was we had 2 people in our church who passed away that week, and they asked me to sing songs at their funeral. And like I was like, of course I have to do that. My voice hurts really bad, but I'm gonna rest up. I had 4 or 5 days. I've never dealt with vocal strain or anything before. I was like, surely I'll be good. And I basically rested my voice as much as humanly possible for those 4 or 5 days, and then sang 4 songs at the first funeral, 4 songs at the second funeral. That was Friday and Saturday. And I even remember thinking, I feel okay. I mean, there's a little pain there, but it's not that bad. And then it was the Christmas season, and I sang even more. And then once we were done with the Christmas season, I said to the other guy on my worship team, I was like, Patrick, you're gonna have to lead the songs this next Sunday. I need a week to rest my voice. And so I did that. And then I was like, Patrick, my voice still does not feel good, but I'm going to try to lead one song and we'll see how that goes. So I led one song the next Sunday, and I was like, that wasn't the best, but it wasn't that bad. And so the next Sunday I was like, well, I'll lead 2 songs this Sunday. And I led that first song on that Sunday. It was like, I don't know, first week of January, second week of January. And I was like, something is wrong. So I made an appointment with the ENT, and of course they did a scope, and they said, you have some small vocal cord nodules, and we recommend that you rest your voice. Potentially you have muscle tension dysphonia too, but we won't diagnose that until you get the video scope as well. And so, I mean, that's my diagnosis. And by the way, like, I'm going to the doctors, all right? I know some people, out of their compassion, they're like, well, have you tried this? Have you tried this? Like, I've got it under control, all right? Like, that's not, I don't, politely, I don't need your advice. I'm working with people who have gone through this before, and I'm going to the doctors. I'm doing what I need to do. But I just wanted to give you an update on my voice because, number one, it severely affects what I do as a worship leader, and it's very frustrating for me. Number 2, it kind of affects what I do on this channel, but I mean, I'm going to be able to function. It's just frustrating right now because I have to reorient everything. Like, I don't think you understand how much you use your voice until you can't use it as much. And like, honestly, I'm talking right now. I've already filmed 2 videos today. I feel my voice starting to get a little hoarse, and I probably shouldn't talk too long on this video. But even last night at worship rehearsal, it was like, I just want to be able to start a song, I want to be able to say, hey, can we work on this bridge, and then count off 1, 2, 3, 4, and go into the bridge and not have to rely on somebody else to figure out how to do that. Which I think that that's what God's teaching me in this season right now, is like, Spencer, you need to learn how to rely on other people. And God has been so faithful in providing people who I can rely on. You know, I've got other people on my worship team. Many of you have said, Spencer, it's just you and one other guy on the worship team. Well, guess what? No longer. Like, literally the week that I found out that I'm not going to be able to sing for a little while, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, potentially. They haven't joined the worship team yet, but there were 6 people who were like, I want to join the worship team. They didn't even know about my voice at that point. There were 6 people who were like, Spencer, I'm interested in joining the worship team. All of a sudden, out of nowhere. Like, if that's not God providing, I don't know what is. And so, what am I trying to say in this video? First of all, protect your own voice. If you need to rest your voice, please just rest your voice, which is what I'm doing. Like, I caught it relatively early. It's not going to, like, destroy my worship leading career forever. I don't think. But in the meantime, I have a video scope scheduled here, but it's not until March 27th. And I asked the doctors, like, what should I be doing in the meantime? And they're like, we really recommend that you rest your voice as much as possible and pass off. I told them I'm a worship leader in a church. They're like, well, if you can pass those responsibilities off to someone else, that would be best. And it's like, that's so hard to do. But maybe that's what God's teaching me in this time is, Spencer, stop doing everything yourself. Which I didn't think I was doing. I'm trying to raise up other leaders in the church, but sometimes I guess God forces you to do that. And so, what do I have in this season of life? First of all, in my personal ministry, like at my church, I think this is going to be a season of several things that will be for God's glory and for my good and for my church's good. And that is, there's going to be other leaders in my church who get raised up. There's going to be other worship team members who get raised up. It's going to force me to become a better worship team leader because I can't just rely on what I've always done. You know, sometimes I get sloppy and I'm like, I have the talent to do these things, and so I'm just going to do them, but I can't just do them anymore. So I've got to raise up other people who can do those things, whether that's just something as simple as we're going to start in the chorus of this song. So Patrick, count it off and lead this part of the song. Or, you know, a million other things that you take for granted whenever you can speak and sing. So there's that. I guess for leading worship well, I'm still going to keep making videos. Like, this is my 3rd video that I've filmed today. The frustrating part is usually I'll film 6 videos at a time, and that can be like 3 hours of recording, 3 or 4 hours. Like, sometimes I'll come into my church here at 8 o'clock, won't leave until 12:30 because I'm just slamming videos. And the reason that I do that is because I love to batch my videos so that I don't have to come in every week and do them. Because some YouTubers, they're just like fly by the seat of their pants, which if that works for you, that's fine. I'm just saying I like to get ahead. And so I already have, you know, a month and a half worth of videos banked up, and I'm just trying to stay ahead. But the hard part is now I can't come in here and film 6 videos at a time. So that's just something that I have to figure out. It's also like I never know how my voice is going to feel on a given day. Sometimes I have better voice days. Like today was a relatively good voice day. I could tell when I woke up. And so I was like, I'll come in, and I haven't tried filming videos. I don't feel like I'm like dying while I'm filming these videos. So I think it's doable. I've also filmed a couple other videos just like at home in front of my computer. So if you see some of those videos, that's why. It's like I can't always justify driving 15 minutes to church, which I know it doesn't sound like that much, but if I get over here and I film like one video and my voice hurts and I can't film anymore, then I'm like, that was, I don't know. I mean, I could have just filmed this video at home. I'm not saying that it's not worth it to film a video. I'm just saying I could have just filmed the video at home. So, I think the other thing God wants from me in this season, and I'm not saying that in like some weird, like, I heard a voice from God. I'm just trying to discern what God might be teaching me. And I think he wants me to focus more on writing. That's something that I've really been thinking about over the past 6 months is like, leading worship well originally started as just writing. Some of you don't know that because you just found me on YouTube, but I actually started on Instagram back in 2018 where I made a decision that I was going to post a worship leading tip every single day on Instagram. And if you go to my Instagram page and scroll back just a little bit, you will see the fruit of that effort. And I woke up like in January 2018 and I was like, I've got to do something. I'm tired of being lazy with the information that I have, so I'm going to just start as simple as I can, write a worship leading tip every single day. And so I started that in February then, and I posted every single day for 2.5, 3 years. I forget how long it was. And I was just writing. And I loved writing so much, and that even led to some of the devotionals that I put together, which, by the way, I just opened my worship team devotional store recently, so I'll link that down below if you want to check that out. And that's what I want to do more of. Let me find this post real quick. I should have this memorized because I was like, this is my purpose statement, at least for this season of leading worship well. This is what I want to do with leading worship well. This is what I want to focus on, big picture wise. I wrote, I create worship team devotionals and workshops that help teams grow in their theology of worship and apply that theology in a practical way so that they can lead worship that is pleasing to God and maximally edifying for their church. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to focus on in this season, and that doesn't mean that things are going to change on this channel. Like, that's pretty much what I have been doing, but as far as deeper resources that I create, those are the deeper resources that I want to create. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do worship team workshops right now because I'm not sure that I can talk for 2 hours like I need to film those. I'm sure I can figure something out, but just I feel like the devotional aspect of a worship team. I'm trying to keep this video unedited and raw, but I have to burp so bad right now. Give me a second. Those are the things that you don't see when I edit my videos. I do that all the time. But I want to focus on that. It's one thing to raise up like one worship leader, which I do all this time on this channel. Like, I'm speaking to one worship leader 99% of the time. But it's a whole other thing to say the devotional spiritual aspect is lacking in a lot of worship ministries, and it's something that we cannot neglect. We must pour into our team spiritually. And I want to be a part of helping that happen. It's not just enough to get your band together and play music. It's not just enough to show up on Sunday and be like, band, you sounded amazing. I want to be like, band, I love that you are so faithful to what God has called us to do, not just musically, but theologically when it comes to what the purpose of our corporate worship gatherings are. I love how you personally have grown in your faith, how you love God more every single day. Those are the kind of conversations that I want to help facilitate for worship leaders and their teams. And so I think God is showing me, Spencer, if you can't talk as much, maybe you should write more. And maybe this is a season of writing for me, and I've kind of gotten out of that habit. My voice is starting to go. I've kind of gotten out of that habit, and I want to get back into it and just write more. So if you want to see what some of that looks like, check out the Worship Team devotional store. I'll link it down in the description below. That's my update. Like I said, I'm not looking for medical advice. I would covet your prayers and prayers for healing, but prayers for wisdom. You know, it might be controversial to say, but I want you to be encouraged by this as somebody who would love Dead space is not good for YouTube videos. That's why I hate YouTube sometimes. It's like people just click off. As somebody who would love to be healed instantly right now, sometimes that's not God's plan for you. And I want you to hear that. Not just from somebody who went through something hard in their life, made it through the other side, and then can look back and be like, God was faithful and God was teaching me something. Like, we need to get to a place where we can believe that right now. Not later. We can get there later, but I want you to be able to believe that right now. God's will for your life is not that you would always be instantly healed. God's will for your life is that you would grow in holiness. And so, yes, pray for healing for my voice, but even more, pray that I would grow in holiness. I want to grow in my trust in God during this time. I want to grow in the way that I lead at my church. I want to grow in how I resource worship leaders to lead their teams well and to lead their churches well. I want to be shaped more into the image of Christ. I want to love God more. I want to trust that He is in control of all things, even when I don't get what I want. Pray for that. If you're going to pray for something, pray for that. I do believe that God is a God who heals. I'm just saying that sometimes that is not His will. Paul prayed for healing too. He prayed for it 3 times. God did not take the thorn out of his side, and he said, my grace is sufficient for you. For what? For in your weakness, my power is made known. Something along those lines. I forget the words right now. So, thanks for watching. I'll keep putting out the videos as much as I can. I don't plan on there being a break in the videos. I'm just giving you a heads up. Things might look a little different, and just wanted to keep you updated. So thanks so much for watching. Till I see you in the next video, keep leading worship well.